Hey, what is going on, Guardians? Evade here and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be diving into the two latest entries for the Invitations of the Nine and what it means for the Queen, the Nine, and the Notorious Drifter. Now, although these are cloaked in Bungie's mystery, sort of us waiting to find out, future information to see what this means, we do get glimpses of Mara fighting some distant battle, the Drifter ship crashed on the ground, and it's all pretty mysterious. So if you're ready to jump into it, let's cover these secrets together and discuss the preparation being done by these characters for the arrival of the darkness. Alright Guardians, welcome back to the channel and I hope you are doing well. Today's video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Forget everything you thought you knew about mobile games because one of the most ambitious RPG projects of 2019 has just been released. Introducing Raid Shadow Legends. So the game itself features an amazing storyline, awesome 3D graphics that look incredible on a smartphone, boss fights, PvP battles, and hundreds of champions to collect and customize. Now Raid is taking the mobile game scene by storm and it's growing pretty fast, so getting in soon will give you a huge head start on everyone else, and you'll also get to enter into the launch tournament with some pretty crazy prizes. So the link to download the game itself is in the description, and if you use my specific link here, you'll get 50,000 silver, along with a free champion that allow you to jump straight into the action. So once again, thanks to Raid for sponsoring this video, and let's jump right into the content. Alright Guardians, so let's first start with an entry from last week where the emissary talks to the Nine about Mara Sov and where she's currently at. Now if we remember, when we went into the Queen's Court for the last time, Mara Sov explained that she had a battle to go fight, the battle rages on, and she'll talk to us sometime in the future, and she also talks about the Exo Stranger.
I dreamt of a friend I will come to have. She will tell me a side should always be taken. Even if it's the wrong side. The next act is about to begin, and I do not know when I will return. Fear nothing. Bow to no one.
The clever one is in peril.
No, she will manage.
They will annihilate her.
Then she will die as one of us, gladly.
She will regret before the end.
You don't know the meaning of that word.
She will beg for death's release.
You cannot kill what has already died.
So the first thing to note here is that Mara is fighting elsewhere. This is pretty obvious given the descriptions in the court and the way she's sort of depicted here, being all heroic and turning her head slowly towards us, but it's also flat out explained right there in the emissary's conversation with the Nine. Now a cool thing to note, which I didn't even think about at first, is that Mara can't really die in this said battle. Well, she can, but not for good, as she isn't in her throne world. For those that aren't aware of what I'm talking about, this is sort of the same thing with the Hive. For example, we killed Oryx on his dreadnought, but he then retreated to his throne world, which was above his dreadnought, where we had to kill him for good. Once a Hive being, or anyone that I guess has a throne world, is killed in that throne world, that's the end of their life. But in this case with Mara, it's a little bit different, as she's not in the throne world, she's fighting this race. She can die and come back infinitely and she'll be perfectly fine, but she'll be stuck in a little bit of a bad situation if these enemies do find her in that said throne world. She closes her eyes. Oryx's throne world smashes through her fleet, the bubble of everted scream space pulverizing rock, metal, and flesh as mere matter surrenders to the will-made fact of the Taken King. Somewhere, Aldrin roars defiance. This is the moment of absolute sacrifice, the incarnation of awoken doom, to give up their lives in defense of a world they once abandoned. The sense of their great dying rips at Mara like a sob. She feels her Techians preparing emergency self-gates. Shirochi reaches out to her, a wordless, urgent need for Mara to live, and it takes all the cold and passive remove of Mara's millennia to turn that hand away. The shockwave strikes, and Mara dies. So that was a little bit of a description there of what exactly happened during the Taken King cutscene when Mara did in fact die, but she was around Oryx's throne world. She eventually went back to her own throne world and found out that Oryx destroyed it, so things were a little hectic back then. Now, if you've been around the channel for a while, in the last week or two, I made a previous video discussing where Mara is and kind of what's going on and who she's with, and we do know that there is someone else alongside her as we hear this line in The Reckoning. It says, "The Queen and her hunter send their regards." So, whoever this hunter is, they are with Mara, and the question is, what are they fighting? Now, it would make sense to assume, hey, straight up it's the darkness, but Savathûn is still a big issue as well, and we aren't completely sure. The Nine also explained in that invitation that Mara is in danger, or will be. Definitely some pretty crazy stuff. Next, we have this week's invitation to the Nine, which is even more cryptic.
What does it want?
You ask the same questions. You never listen.
Why did it do this?
He's afraid
Of death?
of everything.
So it kills.
He hates violence. He hates it so much that he'll murder anyone who tries to inflict it on him.
So the emissary and the Nine are obviously referring to the Drifter, who was once Dredge and Hope, and even a guy named Eli. In this area we can see the giant floating Gambit coins and his ship crashed there in the far distance. Now, I don't think this has any lore implications, I just think it was placed there to explain the Nine and who they're referencing in this invitation itself, not actually that his ship has crashed at all, you know what I'm saying? Now, this whole thing is cool because in the lore book Ecdysis, which is where these entries from the invitations are coming from, we see the connection between Orin and the Drifter after Namki's death towards the last couple of entries. So we will see this in coming invitations, I'm sure, because there's some audio and stuff out there, but the way these two interact has definitely changed quite a lot, and it's going to be exciting to see that. Next, I wanted to stray away from the invitations of the Nine and talk more about some mysteries from the season of the Drifter. First up, we have these sort of weird tendril things seen in the back of the Drifter's ship. Now, if you weren't aware, you can actually head back here when you spawn into the derelict if you turn right. Now, there's not much to this area besides a triumph you can pick up to unlock some score and also some cool scenery, but it's really weird back here. Now, we know that the Drifter got this giant haul from the Nine, but we can assume that he had the derelict previously from that former cutscene. So is this foliage from another world, perhaps that icy planet? Now, this may not be important at all and could just be there to look cool from the amazing Bungie artist, but within the lore there are some occasions where tendrils and tentacles are mentioned. First up, we have one from the Variks lore book. It says the light seemed to dance in blue over the horizon of unknown space, but all else was black. Tendrils seemed to grow with the light. Where they were reaching from or stretching toward, he could not comprehend. Fear gripped Variks' mind. The paths before him were vast, uncertain, and for the first time in his life, he can sense judgment turned inward. The second card says this: Asher can't watch this time. He frantically searches for a way out, and a tentacle grabs his ghost. A millisecond of pain in his shoulder, and everything goes white. So that, of course, was the description of Asher Mir's past, where his ghost gets consumed by this tentacle thing, and I'm guessing this is when he lost his arm to Brachion. So I'm gonna throw this image up on screen right here just because it looks freaking cool. This is a concept art image for the dream cutscene we seen back in Destiny 2. We can see some type of tendrils grasping this ghost, kind of like the one with Asher Mir's ghost, but we don't know. That could have been a Hydra or a Harpy or whatever those ones that have arms are with the Vex. And to wrap up this video, Guardians, we have the Drifter's mention of the 9 realms.
The collapse wasn't the last extinction-level event to hit humanity. Old Drifter's seen another one coming. Everything I'm building in the 9 realms is preparation. There's a few seats I'm saving. One of them is for you, if you want it.
Now, we don't know much, but I was doing some browsing around and found a cool Reddit post and a comment right here by Leviathan2142. Now, they say this very well may be a Destiny version of the 9 realms described in Norse mythology. Now, I didn't even think about this, and this is super cool. After playing a game like God of War, where we actually visit some of those realms and face different bosses inside of those, it made me think how cool something like this in Destiny would be. Going to a different realm, seeing different beings, learning what's being constructed here, and so on. We hear the Drifter describe that he's preparing something in these 9 realms and he wants us on his side, but what exactly that is, we'll have to wait and find out. Anyway, Guardians, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see some more lore mysteries and secrets just like the ones described in this video, definitely be sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching. My name's Evade, and I'll catch you Guardians in the next one.